That scratch has been bothering you for months, maybe years, and every time you walk past it, you think about the estimate someone gave you. $300, maybe $500. Maybe someone told you the whole floor needs resanding, which starts at $1,500 and climbs fast. And meanwhile, the scratch just sits there, a daily reminder that something broke and you haven't fixed it. What if I told you the fix costs $1? Not a discounted professional service, not a store brand version of an expensive product, $1. One ingredient, permanent. And it's been sitting in grocery stores the entire time. The hardwood refinishing industry in America generates $3.5 billion a year, and almost none of that would exist if one thing were still common knowledge. Think about that number, $3.5 billion. That's not just contractors, that's retail products, franchises, equipment rentals, whole business ecosystems built on top of one assumption, that you need them. That scratched hardwood is a professional problem, not a homeowner problem. That the gap between a damaged floor and a restored floor is too wide for you to cross alone. And here's what makes me genuinely frustrated about this. It's not that they invented a complicated process. It's that they took something simple and buried it under a layer of complexity and branding and jargon until the average homeowner stopped believing they could handle it. The refinishing industry didn't beat out a simple solution by being better. It beat it out by making sure the simple solution stopped getting talked about. The economic logic is clean and ruthless. If a floor can be permanently restored with a product that costs $1 and takes 20 minutes, you don't call a refinisher, you don't buy a $30 scratch kit from the hardware store, you don't rent equipment, you don't schedule a weekend, and move all your furniture for a sanding job. The entire dependency chain disappears, and no business in the world wants to build a model around a solution that eliminates the need for itself. So the solution didn't get suppressed dramatically. Nobody held a meeting, nobody signed an agreement. It just quietly became forgotten knowledge, the kind a thing a furniture maker in 1938 knew instinctively that a finished carpenter passed to an apprentice that slowly got replaced by the marketing language of polyurethane kits and professional-grade floor systems. The old knowledge didn't disappear because it failed. It disappeared because it succeeded too completely. Furniture makers in the 1920s and 1930s had a finishing practice, so effective it was passed down like a trade secret, not written in manuals, whispered shop to shop. Before synthetic varnishes, before polyurethane, before the petrochemical finishing industry existed at all, craftsmen were working with wood the way wood actually behaves. They understood something modern floor products deliberately ignore. Wood is not inert. It's not a static surface waiting to be coated. It's an organic structure that breathes, expands, contracts, and this is the critical part, responds. When a craftsman in 1932 finished a table, he wasn't sealing the wood away from the world. He was conditioning it. The compounds he used penetrated the grain. They became part of the cellular structure. The wood and the finish were the same thing. That's why furniture from that era still looks extraordinary. Not because it was made better, though a lot of it was, but because the finishing philosophy was fundamentally different. It was working with the material instead of over it. The shift happened in the 1950s and accelerated through the 1960s. Petrochemical products flooded the market. Polyurethane became the industry standard, and polyurethane is, in many ways, a remarkable product. It's durable, it's consistent, it's easy to apply at scale. What it isn't is penetrating. Polyurethane sits on top of wood like a plastic shell. It creates a barrier, and barriers, no matter how tough, eventually crack, chip, scratch. And when they do, you're not dealing with damaged wood. You're dealing with a damaged coating sitting on top of wood that no longer knows how to restore itself, because it's been sealed off from everything that would allow it to. The old craftsman's method never created that problem because it never created that separation. The wood was the finish. There was no shell to crack. And here's the part that explains everything, why this actually works, not just that it does. A scratch in hardwood isn't removed the way most people imagine. It's not about covering the gap, it's about understanding what the wood itself is actually doing. When wood gets scratched, a few things happen simultaneously. The surface fibers compress, the grain gets disrupted. Sometimes you see actual material removal. But the primary visual problem, the reason a scratch looks white or light against dark wood, isn't missing wood, it's light refraction. The disrupted fibers reflect light at a different angle than the surrounding surface, and your eye reads that contrast as damage. The scratch looks like a cut, but what you're actually seeing is a change in surface texture at a microscopic level. This matters enormously because it changes the entire solution. If the problem were a physical gap, you'd need filler, but the problem is surface disruption and light refraction, which means the solution isn't filling, it's realigning. Getting those compressed fibers to relax back into their original orientation. Getting the surface to reflect light the same way as the surrounding wood again. Modern scratch products, the kits at hardware stores, mostly work by filling. They push material into the scratch to bring the surface level back up. Some of them are tinted to match wood color. And they work, kind of, for a while. The problem is that filler is just filler. It doesn't bond with the wood grain. It doesn't flex when the wood expands in summer humidity. It doesn't contract when the wood tightens in winter. So, over time, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, the filler separates. The scratch comes back. You buy another kit. This is not an accident. This is the product doing exactly what it was designed to do. Natural oils behave completely differently. When a penetrating oil enters a wood scratch, it doesn't sit on top of the surface. It travels down into the fiber structure. Wood is cellular, full of tiny channels, and oil moves through those channels the way water moves through a sponge. As it moves, it lubricates the compressed fibers. It allows them to relax, to re-expand into their natural orientation. The surface realigns at the cellular level. And because the oil has penetrated rather than coated, it moves with the wood as the wood moves. It expands and contracts in sync with the grain. The repair doesn't separate. It becomes part of the floor. The light refraction changes. The disrupted surface realigns. The scratch disappears, not because something was put over it, but because the wood itself was given what it needed to restore. So here's what you've been waiting for. And I want to be specific, because the difference between this working and not working is all in the details. The oil is linseed oil, raw linseed oil, sometimes called flaxseed oil, in the cooking aisle, which is literally the same product. You can buy it in the baking section of any grocery store for between 75 cents and $1.50, or you can buy raw linseed oil from a hardware store. Same compound, slightly different packaging, usually $1 to $2. Either works. The key word is raw, not boiled linseed oil, which has chemical dryers added to it. Not refined, raw. This is the version the craftsman used, and it's the version that behaves the way I just described. Here's how you use it. Clean the scratched area first. You want it free of dust, wax buildup, anything that would block the oil from reaching the wood. A lightly damp cloth, let it dry fully. You're not stripping the floor, you're just clearing the surface. Take a small cloth, an old cotton t-shirt works perfectly, and apply a small amount of raw linseed oil, a few drops. You don't need much. Work it into the scratch with the grain, not against it. You'll feel a slight warmth as the oil makes contact. Apply light pressure and work in the direction the wood is running. Do this for about 2 minutes per scratch, then leave it. Walk away for 20 to 30 minutes. Let the oil penetrate. During this time, you might see the scratch darken slightly as the oil travels into the fibers. That's the process working. Come back with a clean, dry cloth and buff the area with the grain. Remove the surface residue. What's left is what's been absorbed. Give it 24 hours before walking on it normally or placing anything heavy on it. For deep scratches, anything that's broken through the surface more significantly, do a second application 24 hours after the first. The same process. Let the first application cure, then repeat. Most deep scratches are fully addressed after 2 treatments. One thing worth knowing, if your floor has a polyurethane coating in good condition, linseed oil will have limited effect because there's a barrier preventing it from reaching the wood. For those floors, you'll need to lightly scuff the surface of the scratch with fine steel wool first, 220 grit or finer, just enough to break the coating in the specific scratch area. Then apply the oil. The scratch in the polyurethane will blend back in as the oil treats the wood beneath and the surface levels. The cost, for reference, since this is worth saying out loud, a bottle of raw linseed oil or flaxseed oil will treat somewhere between 40 and 100 scratches, depending on size. The bottle costs $1. The professional alternative for a moderately scratched floor starts at $300. The store scratch kits run between $15 and $40 and require reapplication. The bottle costs $1. You probably have the applicator cloth already. The bottle costs between 75 cents and $1.50 depending on where you live, and you'll find it in the cooking oil section, not the hardware aisle. That location alone tells you something. This isn't a niche specialty product. It's not something you have to track down. It's been sitting in every grocery store between the olive oil and the vegetable oil this entire time. Completely available, completely affordable, waiting for someone to remember what it's actually capable of. You now know more about how wood actually restores itself than most people who've paid for professional refinishing, because those refinishers didn't tell you this, and the product companies definitely weren't going to. The information isn't secret in any dramatic sense. It's just not in anyone's financial interest to make it loud. Go get the oil. Test it on one scratch, the one that's bothered you longest. Give it 24 hours. You'll understand immediately why this was standard knowledge before the industry had a reason to replace it with something more expensive. And if you want to keep finding this kind of thing, practical, old, permanently effective solutions that got quietly replaced by products with recurring revenue built in, stick around. There's a lot more where this came from. If someone in your life is sitting on a repair estimate they can't afford right now, this is worth passing along. And if you've actually used linseed oil on hardwood before and already knew this, drop it in the comments. Because it turns out the people who already know are rarely surprised by how long everyone else has been paying for what they figured out on their own